Shalom, shalom, shalom to all my brothers and sisters out there who were previously, also on the channel, before the network just tripped off. I'm just trying to, reconnect with this particular situation that we just experienced now, because the internet just shut down and I couldn't reconnect immediately. And, which made us to be able to, we need to be able to go back also in order to now, recheck some of the things that we've spoken about, in regards to what we are talking about. So I'm just going to go back in order to brush some certain things, which I spoke about in regards to our topic today, which is the sin of idolatry. And so, my brothers and sisters, something that we need to be able to understand in regards to this is that when you understand what happened, like I said, when you understand what happened in the book of Deuteronomy, chapter number 28, when we read from verse number 15 there, the Bible makes us to understand that if you obey, if you did not obey, these are the things which is going to happen unto you. And so we already saw that one of the things that is going to happen among the people who disobey, like the scripture said, is that these people are going to do what? They are going to go into a land. They are going to go into place. They are going to go, them and the king which they have appointed, and they are going to go there. And what are they going to be doing there? They are going to be going there and they are going to be worshiping the gods of those lands. Now, I want you to be able to really reason and understand what is going on here. And that on its own is, that on its own, worshiping the gods of other nations is what? Is a curse. You remember, you understand why? Because you are following the gods of other nations. Because why are you, what you need to be able to understand, why are you following the gods of the other nation is because you are no longer obedient to the words of what? Of YAHUWAH Elohim. And so this is the reason why the Bible makes us to be able to understand that, because you've not hearkened unto the voice of these causes now, the things which are being listed. That was the reason why when we read in verse number 36 and in verse number 64, the Bible made it very clear to us in order to show us the things which is going to befall the people who are disobedient, who are disobedient to that word. And so one of those things is that there is curse upon them because they are following something which they know nothing about. And what are those things which they know nothing about? They are following wood. They are following stones. They are following things which are being made with hands. They have gone astray. And they've been deceived because there's no way you can be able to go and you are following a strange God and you would be able to be thinking to be able to be above those people that you are following their gods. And so the tricks which have been done there have gotten these people, because already overstand that YAHUWAH Elohim have to be able to do what? To allow these things to be able to now happen. You know why? Because you've rejected the laws and statutes. You've rejected the way, the words which were being spoken to you. And because of that, what happened? Something was being presented in your front. But let's see, like I say, let's see what does the scripture say in regards to what? To the gods of other nations. What does the Bible really say about the gods of other nations? What does the Bible say about the gods of other nations? Which people are following? They are following the God. These people now, because of their disobedience, this is why they are being. Just remember about what happened to the children of Israel when they came out from the what? From Egypt. What does the Bible say? They had to be able to do what? To persuade Aaron in order to make a God to them. But let's see, like I said, what the Bible says in regards to other nations and what the Bible recorded. Let's go to the book of First Chronicles. First Chronicles chapter number 16. Now we're going to read from verse number 26. The book of First Chronicles chapter number 16. We're going to read from verse number 26. Now we're talking about the gods of other nations. We're talking about the people who disobey, the children of Israel, who are going to be in disobedience, who disobey the word, They are going to go and worship the gods of other nations. But what What are the gods of this nation that these people are going to be worshiping? What are going to be the gods of their nation? What are the gods of these nations which those people who disobey are going to be following? Now listen what the Bible says here now. It says in verse number 25 and 26, that is where we're going to read. It says, for great is Yahuwah and greatly to be praised. He also is to be feared above all mighty, above all gods. They put here now. In verse number 26 now, the Bible says, for all the gods of the people are idle. Now, wait a minute and overstand something. The Bible says that the gods of all the people, all the nations are what? Are idols. But Yahuwah made the heavens. Now, I want us to be able to understand something here now. A situation whereby somebody has been deviated or deceived to be following after the gods of other nations, or out of his mind, out of the deception of what he presumed to be the right thing, he's been deceived out of it, and he's now following the gods of other nations. But these gods of other nations that he is following, he did not know that those gods that they are following are actually what? Nothing more than what? Wood, nothing more than what? Stone, nothing more than what? Silver, nothing more than gold, which are being made with what? With man's hand. And so when they enter into that particular place, what do you really think is going to become of those people? They are going to be born, they are going to be enslaved, they are going to be in bondage, what? To those people who have those gods. And that has become a trapping point. That has become a trapping point to be able to do what? To hold these people. Because you know why? Those nations will already know that these people who are there in their own place are people who are what? Disobedient to their Elohim. Otherwise, they won't be there. I don't know if you're really understanding what is going on. So these other nations will be treating these people like every other thing which they want to. Because after all, they are not supposed to be there. So which means for them being there shows the power of their disobedience, shows that they are disobedient to the word which their Elohim said. Lest you are going to go into the land and you are following the God, because you are going to go into the land because you disobey. This is what is going to befall of you. And so what is going to happen, like I said, in the midst of that particular people, nations which they have been driven into, all of them would go and they will be worshiping wood and stones. And like I said, this is what you're already seeing in the structure of the world itself, where two major religions are playing a major role in trying to be used as an instrument in order to, encircle these people. These are the things which has already been recorded. So the Bible makes us to understand here what? For all, it's not saying some, but all the gods of the people are idols. All. You talk about is it Princess Diana? You talk about all the gods of the people are what? Are idol. But Yahuwah Elohim made the heaven. Now I want us to be able to really see something there, because we are talking about something which is very, very deep here. Follow also with me into the book of the same place where we were at, the book of Psalms 96. Psalms chapter number 96. Now I want us to read also from verse number 4 and 5. Now we're talking about the same thing, about nations. And here the Bible says, for Yahuwah is great and greatly to be praised. He is to be feared above all gods. Right? He is to be feared. And in verse number 5, he says, for all the gods of the nations. Now, the nations are in plural. What nation is he talking about here now? Every other nation that is not what? That is not the children of what? Of Israel. And what? When you talk about Jacob and Israel. So all the gods of other nations are what? Idols. But Yahuwah made heaven. So by the time somebody who is the children of Israel have left the person, the God, the Elohim, the mighty one that he is supposed to be following, and he is now following something different, what do you think that person is really following then? That person is generally directly following what? An idol that is what? Made with hand. And the moment that person jumps into that particular pothole, that person is going to be in what? In bondage. That is a trap. That is a trap. And now let's go, because we want to be able to really see things. See things that has already been written in the scripture. I want you to follow with me into the book of Acts of Apostles, chapter number 19. Acts of Apostles, chapter number 19. Because we're talking about other nations and they, and how they are able to also see and construct their own gods, which a lot of people who do not know that they are following a man-made something which was being constructed by other heathen. Because why they are under those people, what caused them to be there was because of their disobedience to their Elohim, because nothing more would have warranted them to be in the gods of other nations. I want us to be able to see what the Bible says here in the book of Psalms, and no, in the book of Acts of Apostles, where we're about to read now, chapter number 19. Acts of Apostles, chapter number 19. Because you need to be able to understand that as many as are in that particular bondage of the nations, you ain't going to be free. You're not going to be free there. And this is the reason why when the messenger were being sent in order to free the people, they find it difficult to leave. Now remember, we're going to come about what happened in Egypt when the children were coming out. But let's see what the Bible wrote about in the book of Acts of Apostles, chapter number 19. Now we're going to start reading from verse number 13. Acts chapter number 19. We're going to start reading from verse number 13. And so the Bible says here, talking about Acts of Apostles chapter number 19. We're going to start reading from verse number 23. Now the Bible says here, at the same time, there arose no small stir about the way. For a certain man named Demetrius, a silversmith, this person is somebody who is, I just want us to be able to really understand what is going on here in the book of Acts of Apostles. Now, these are other nations, what they are doing in regards to their own gods, what they are doing. But it is in these gods that a lot of people, we are being lured or we are being taken in order for them to be serving the gods of those lands. And by so doing, what happened is that they have been enslaved and engulfed in the gods of those people. Now, let's see what the Bible says in regards to what is taking place in here. In verse number 24, the Bible says, for a certain man named Demetrius, a silversmith, somebody who is a silversmith, now which made silver shrines for Diana. I want us to understand it. So this person who is a silversmith makes goddess, literally makes God. He said, which made silver shrine for Diana, brought no small gain unto the craftsmen. So these people who are silversmith, they make their own money by constructing, by carving things for what? For Princess Diana, whom he called together with the workman of like occupation and said, sirs, you know that by this craft we have our wealth. So it is a situation whereby Apostle Paul, I just wanted for us to be able to understand what is going on here. Apostle Paul has come into the scene and he is using the words of YAHUWSHUWA, which was being given to him in order to start destroying the merchandise of this silversmith and the goldsmith, the people who have been constructing the gods of those people who are the Grecians, the Ephesus, the people of Ephesus. So, and they have been sucking the people, deceiving the people through these constructs. So what happened is Apostle Paul came into the scene and his word was putting fire into the destruction of that particular gods. So those people who were benefiting from this particular construct or from the business, from the merchandise of the gods which they make with their own hand, the thing began to burn their hearts. How can they allow this man to continue destroying their gods through the things that he says? How can they allow this particular man to continue destroying their means of livelihood?
Because they construct those things, and what happened? The people who are being deceived, who are being channeled towards that particular gods, are the people who feed these people. So it is their merchandise. They benefit through the ignorance of these people who are in that particular religion. So this is what the Bible say here. It say here, moreover, you see and hear that not alone at Ephesus, but almost throughout all Asia, this Paul had persuaded and turned away much people. This Paul have persuaded and have turned away so much people. What do you really understand? He was elevating people who were operating out of their ignorance by worshiping priests, something that was made of wood and stone and silver and gold. So, but the people whom these things were an instrument of them using it to tie the people, it was not business as usual. It was not something that they can tolerate. Now, listen to what they said here. He said that this man is causing too much trouble because he is persuading them, and then he is turning people away, and not just an ordinary, he is turning much people away. What is it that he is doing? What is it that Apostle Paul was doing? Listen to what the Bible says. He's saying that there be no gods which are made with hands. So this is the message that Paul was telling them. That these things are not gods. This thing that you see these people are constructing with hands, with woods, with silver, with gold, with all these things. These things are no God. These things are something that is made with hand. But they would not be able to. This thing is something that was born in their heart while Paul was saying this. And like I said, you know why? Because they are already getting out of business. Now listen to what the Bible says here. He says, so that not only this, our craft is in danger to be set at naught. So you see, number one thing, they are not just trying to protect whatsoever, but rather, you see, that energy which is tied to that particular image or to that particular thing which they have created, that energy that is being tied to that particular thing, they do not want to be able to do or to lose that energy, because it is through that construct, it is through that craftsmanship, it is through that thing which they have constructed that they are sucking the energy of the people. But this is what they said. So that not only this our craft is in danger to be set at naught, but also that the temple of the great goddess Diana should be despised. So if you understand the secret of what they have been doing, then that means their own goddess, which is goddess Diana, now is going to be despised, because now the goddess Diana which they are following is what is going to be, is already wood and stone. You know, when you talk about those things which are being constructed with man's hands, so it is nothing, it is nothing. So by the time they discover the secret, now listen to what they said here. And they say, and how magnificent should be destroyed, whom all Asia and the world worship it. Now, I want us to be able to understand something here. You see, they reveal something here. They say that Princess Diana, which they construct, which they made with their hand, they made the temple of Diana, which means, and they made Diana with silver and gold, that all the world worshiped Diana. You saw what they wrote. This is what the scripture said here. This is what the scripture said here. He said, whom all Asia, are you with me? Whom all Asia and the world worshiped, Princess Diana, whom they made with hand, whom they made. Do you see how the Most High is already revealing mystery about why, when the Most High Yahuwah through YAHUWSHUWA spoke and said that what the gods of all other nations are nothing but what? But idols. Here they are already telling, revealing the mystery that all the people in Asia, that all the people in the world worship to this God that is being made with hand. Now, you need to be able to understand something here now. For you to understand that the gods that are being made with hand is the one that a lot of people who are not in obedient to the word, obedient to the commandment of Yahuwah, this is who they are worshiping. You remember what happened during the time of King Nebuchadnezzar? You remember the scenario, the action of what took place when Nebuchadnezzar erected an image? What does the Bible say? The Bible makes us to understand that what this image which was being erected, it was being announced to all people everywhere you are at. let it be known, let it be spoken that whenever you hear the sound of the trumpet, whenever you hear the sound of the flute, you are going to do what? Bow down to Princess Diana, because they all are worshiping Princess Diana. It is Princess Diana. That Princess Diana is what they are now, King Nebuchadnezzar have constructed. For them to, everyone to do what? To bow down to this golden and molten image, which is being what? Which is being erected. And every single person who was in that particular kingdom, palette, every single one of them aligned with this particular command. Only those people who are the Hebrews of the Hebrews, only those people who were of the captivity, who know their Elohim, only those people were the people who did not bow to what? To something that was being made with hand, that cannot speak, that cannot touch, that cannot see, that cannot smell, but are things which are being made with hand. These people, these children of Hebrew, they said, "You king, you must be joking. How can you make something and you construct something with out of your hand, and you expect a Hebrew, a Greek?" So this is what you need to be able to understand, my dear brothers and sisters. When we talk about the things which is going on in regards to idolatry, we're talking about people who have been deceived, and now the deception which they have been deceived on was out of their own mindset which they have set for themselves. Now remember to the children of Israel who were in the land of Egypt, and when they came out of Egypt, these people now caused Aaron, in order for Aaron to make a golden calf for them. But before this time, you saw that these people, their mind was tied in Egypt. They wanted to serve the Most High, Yahuwah, the same way that the Egyptians are doing, what are worshiping the Most High. So they wanted to see, they wanted to be able to do what? To erect something, just the same way that the Egyptians were doing. And they forced Aaron. And Aaron now made a golden calf on their behalf and said to them, "Behold your God." Oh, behold your God, something that is being molded. And they all rejoiced by seeing that. They all rejoiced by seeing that. Something that was being made with hand. So this is what they have been waiting to get. This is what gives them joy, to see something that is being made with hands. All of you who did this and are happy, all of you are going to captivity. All of you who rejoiced, who forced Aaron to a lot of you are going to die in the wilderness. Because you know why? You can see, they can overstand. They can see, they have eyes, but they cannot see. They have ears, but they can't. Let's go to the book of Isaiah, chapter number 44. The book of Isaiah. I want us to read chapter number 44. Now we're going to start reading from verse number 10. You know, it is something that we need to be able to understand and see. The things that is going on when the enemy is trying to make you to be able to disobey the word. Understand that enemy is giving you no any other option but rather than to fall into his trap. Because this is the best and the most trickery way of deceiving the people. If you can get these people to disobey their mighty word, their Elohim, there is nothing more that is going to start on their way in order to tie those people using the gods which they themselves have constructed. But I want us to be able to see something here. Those people who have been deceived. Listen to what the Bible says in the book of Isaiah 44. Who has formed a god or a molten graven image that profited for nothing? Absolutely nothing. I tell you, absolutely nothing. It has eyes, has nose, has ears, but it can't see, it can't hear, it can't smell, it can't speak, it can't move. Tell me, what kind of a set of a human whatsoever? You can't call them human because those ones are more degradable. These people are not even, you can't consider them as human beings because these people, they cannot use their senses. You see something, it cannot breathe. It cannot walk. It cannot move. Somebody needs to carry this thing, and yet you are blind, being deceived into following these things. And you say that you are a children of Israel? Oh, come on, you must be kidding. Do you understand the reason why the Most High's anger is so much high on what? On the children of Israel? Those who were partakers in making that particular golden calf, you have something, even an animal. Listen to what the Bible says here. It says, who had formed a god of a molten image, graven image, that is profited for nothing. Behold, all his followers shall be ashamed, and the workman they are of men. Let them all be gathered together. Let them stand up, yet they shall fear, and they shall be ashamed together. Shameless action. They don't. Oh, are they too blind to see? Can they overstand? Oh yeah, because they are blind. They've been blindfolded. Now, how? Out of their own mind. It is in their mind that have blindfolded them in order for them not to have the ability to see beyond what they are, those woods and stones. Remember, like I said, we are going back into our book of Deuteronomy. Remember, the Bible said that what? Because you have disobeyed. Because you've disobeyed. Because you did not follow the word. Because you did not obey the word. Because you did not follow the commandment. And this is a curse that is going to be upon you. And one of those curses is that you are going to be following the gods of other nations, which is nothing but wood and stone. So, and when you are in that field of following the gods of other nations, what happened is that you are under a curse. It is a curse that led you into what? Into the gods of other nations. And through that curse, you are being blindfolded to the level that you cannot see. You are blindfolded in the level that you cannot even see that what you are following is something that was being made out of a wood, something that is being made out of silver. I'm speaking to the children of Israel here, because only the Most High deals with the children of Israel and the children of Jacob. He said he showed his word unto Jacob and his law and statutes unto Israel. He has not dealt with any other nation. So he deals with these two people. He deals with these two nations. He deals with these two nations. And whenever these two nations, anyone who is among these people goes out to say that he wants to do whatsoever that he's doing, he is doing it on his own. That is to say, he is going against the will of his own Elohim. And what is going to happen, whatsoever that he sees out there, whatsoever that he's doing out there is nothing but what I do. Because nothing more he's going to be attracted towards whatsoever gods of whatsoever nation. But let's see what the scripture says now. This is the time whereby in verse number 12 it says, the smiths with the tongues, both worketh in coals and fashion it with hammers, and worketh it with the strength of his arms. Poof, poof. They are hitting it, constructing that, Princess Diana, those silversmiths, those goldsmiths, those people who are the smiths, who are constructing those things. So they are hitting those hammers. They are constructing the shape of those goddess. They are doing it during the time of Nebuchadnezzar to be able to erect those particular things. These are humans breathing. Oh my goodness. These people are breathing human beings. But they are constructing something that does not breathe, that does not hear, that does not see, that does not move. But they want people to bow down to those things. Don't you understand what is going on? Listen to what the Bible says here. You see, and worketh it and the strength of his arm. So they use the strength of their arm. Yea, he is hungry, and his strength faileth. He drinketh no water, and is faint. The carpenter stretched out his rule. Talking about the people now who are now talking about the same people, the master smith, the construct smith, the wheelsmith, when you talk about the silversmith, the goldsmith, they use their measurement in order to measure that God. Listen to what the book said. It said, the carpenter stretched out his rule. He maketh it out with a line. He fitted it with planes, and he maketh it out with the what's compass, and maketh it after the figure of a man, according to the beauty of a man. Oh, according to the beauty of a man. This construct, this silver, they are going to use it and construct it in the image of a man. Now, what we are talking about is the other nations. how they are constructing their own God. On that God is where the people who are to be obedient to their Elohim, who disobeyed, are going to be tied to. Overstand it. Now, this is what they do, and make it after the figure of a man, according to the beauty of a man, that it remain in the house. So they have a sanctuary for it, just like Princess Diana, and where we read in the book of Acts, chapter number 19. And so they have a temple, what, for Princess Diana, and that place they've already constructed everything. Now they put it there. Remember, there they say that what all the people, everybody in the world is what is worshiping to that Princess Diana, through which they all make their own means ends meet. Listen to what the Bible says here. And so this is the process through which they go to in order to construct that particular image or that particular God. You know, that thing that is not called God. It's not even worthy to be called God. It's not even worthy. It has not come, because these are wood and stone and silver and gold, which are not worthy to be called. Listen to what the book says. He held him down cedars and taketh the cypress and the oak. No, so he went into the forest and then he said, okay, he knows which one to which of the tree is what is stronger. Oh my goodness, you understand the state of mind of these people. So they go into a forest. They are the ones that are taking a decision in order to determine which tree. Is it the oak tree? Is it the sycamore tree? Is it the mahogany? Is it the obete? Is it which of these three are they going to choose? So they select the oak tree, and they go into that oak tree which he strengthened for himself among the forest. He planted an ash and dirt tree. So he selected one and cut it. Then shall it be for a man to burn, for he will take thereof and warm himself. Yeah, he kindled it and baked it. So what we want to be able to see and understand, my dear brothers and sisters out there, we already see here the states on how other nations are already constructing their own gods. They are doing these things. Now, the children who are supposed to be obedient to their word, to the word of their Elohim, they are already doing what? Being deceived into following the God of these particular people. And by them doing it, this is the reason why they are bondage. This is the reason. This is why you need to be able to understand that that is when the curse is upon them. You know why? Because now they are in this strange place. They are following a strange mighty one, which their ancestors did not know. And that stranger one which they are following is the one that is going to hold them captive in order to be. So you can be a stranger in somebody's God, and you expect to be prosperous in that place. You must be out of your mind. When you go into a people who are already who their whole life they have been following an idol. They have been following the idol which they consult, and you want to go there and you want to override them, overpass them in their own image construction. You can't go into Egypt and you come out as the children of Israel and make a golden calf, and you want to outperform the people of Egypt by using a golden calf. You got to be joking. These people are masters to these idols. So what happened is that they are going to do what they are going to enslave you. How? Through the construct of what you made. You are going to be tired. You are going to be gotten. And so this is the reason why you need to be able to understand why the Most High, the Bible is already making us to understand in order to open up your eyes. Like I said, when you see what happened during the time of Nebuchadnezzar, Daniel said it and said to the king, these things that you already constructed, these things that have eyes, they have ears, they have nose, they can't speak, they can't move, they can't walk. They can do nothing. They can do no harm. But why do you think that those things were being constructed? This is something I want you to be able to understand. Because the energy needed to go to what? To the king himself. That was the reason why it was being. The king, now this is the God that he created. So if you are not bowing to that particular God, what it means that you are disobeying him. So you see that what? Everything that is tied there is going to a certain energy. So can you now understand the structure on how anybody who is not in line with the truth, anybody who is not in line with the word, anybody who is not in line with the commandment of Yahuwah through YAHUWSHUWA, that person is going to do what is going to go astray wherever the things have already been constructed in order to do what? To hold them down. This is the reason why the Bible said that what, and this is going to be the cause. That you're going to go into a nation which you know not, and that place you're going to be worshiping stone and wood. And And these stones that you're going to be worshiping, that is say you will literally be what? Be blind to it. Now let's see what the Bible say here in the book of Exodus chapter number 32. The book of Exodus chapter number 32. I want us to see real briefly about what took place during the time the children of Israel, when they had their encounter and they came out from Egypt, wanting to behave like the Egyptians, because the Egyptians, they can make their own golden calf, they make their own calf, because after all, there is no law that was being given to them. So they behaved the way that they wanted to behave. I'm not like you, the children of Israel. Now listen to what the Bible says in chapter number 32 of the book of Exodus. We're going to read from verse number 8. So listen to what the Bible says here. They have turned aside quickly out of the way which I commanded them. They have made them a molten calf. What? Now these are the people who are being told that you should not make anything, any graven image, any molten image. Do not make it. Do not make it. But these people have already turned aside. Listen to what the Bible says. As quickly and the way which I commanded them, they have made them a molten calf and have worshipped it. Now you see, and listen to what the Bible says, and have sacrificed thereunto, and say, this be thy gods, O Israel, which have brought thee out of what? Out of the land of Egypt. Now, did you see what happened here now? Did you understand the crime, the magnitude, the volume of this crime now? They went and they brought out this particular molding and golden and whatsoever image which they brought out, and they say, behold, and all of them were rejoicing. Tell me, how is the Most High going to allow those particular people to be able to enter into the place where people who use their senses are? Don't you understand the reason why they had to be able to go through wilderness and wipe so many generations out there? Why do you think it is necessary to flush out those foolishness out of their mind? Because they don't understand the dimension that we're talking about. You can't serve the Most High, the creator of the universe, by constructing something with your stinking hand. By constructing something with your hand, and you want to channel that glory to what? Oh my goodness, the Most High was so even heart-bearing. Listen to what he did, what the Bible says here in verse number 9 even. He said, and Yahuwah said unto Moses, I have seen these people, and behold, it is a stiff-necked people, and therefore let me alone. Let me alone, that my wrath may wax hot on them, and that I may consume them, and I will make of thee a great nation. Did you understand the magnitude of this? They were in Egypt, and so they wanted to be able to worship the true creator, the living Elohim, by constructing something which is dead. And channeling that particular energy to that thing which is dead is going to repercute and come back to them. And when they, after finishing that, they worship, they not just worshiping it, they make sacrifice, they make oblation, they make a lot of things to this particular, and they say this is their God, the God that brought them out, which means now already this is a typical blasphemy. And where did they learn this from? From Egypt. And the same Egyptians now are going to, when the Egyptians invaded them, it is very easy because the Egyptians would immediately get them because they are now open. Egyptians already, before this time, the Egyptians were the masters to the people who are using those particular ways of deceiving the people. When you talk about that particular construct of either wood and stone. So when they come, they are going to come with fears whatsoever, and they are going to take these people very easily. Right? Because they ain't got no protection, they ain't got no shield over them. What is the shield which they have? Is it this molten calf? Now, the Egyptians know that this thing cannot protect you. The Canaanites know that this thing cannot protect you because they are masters of these things. They know more than this particular thing that you have constructed. So if they are to be let alone in that particular place, after they have done that, if not for the sake of the Most High, they would have been wiped off, all of them, by the people of the land where they think that they are going to. You need to be able to understand the reason why the Most High is very, very merciful and very heart-bearing in order to lead these people, despite the fact Now, remember, like we said, we're talking about what? About the commandment which were being given. If you do this, if you did not follow the commandment, you are going to go into a land, and there you are going to be worshiping, following the gods of the nation that you did not know you did. You're not going to know that you are following wood. You're not going to know that you're following stone. You're not going to know that you're following silver. You're not going to know that you're following whatsoever. And why is it like that? Because already something has gone on which you cannot be able to really see and understand. Now I want us to be able to go into the same place now. First King, we're going to read chapter number 12. The book of First King, chapter number 12. Now we are going to read from verse number 28. Now listen to what the Bible says. These are the same people who say that they are Israelites, but want to be able to behave like the people of what? Of the land, like the heathen, because it is only the heathen that construct things like this. And so they want to be able to behave and serve the Most High through that particular process. Now let's see what the scriptures say in the book of First King, chapter number 12, from verse number 28. It says here, whereupon the king took counsel. Which king now? We're talking about Rehoboam now. Whereupon the king took counsel and made 2 calves of gold and said unto them, it is too much for you to go up to Jerusalem. He made 2 calves now. And the purpose, now I want you to be able to understand how these things are being used. The purpose why he made these 2 calves was that he wanted to be able to do what? To deviate them from going to Jerusalem in order to worship. So let him use this thing to be able to do what? To tie them. To tie them. To hold them. Now listen to what he said here. Whereupon the king took counsel and made 2 calves of gold and said unto them, it is too much for you to go up to Jerusalem. It is too much for you to go there. Don't bother to be able to go to Jerusalem. Don't bother to go to Jerusalem. I'm going to do what? I'm going to also erect something. He's going to erect something here for them. And those zombies are going to do what? Follow. Listen to what he said. He said, too much for you to go up to Jerusalem. Behold thy gods, O Israel, which brought thee up out of the land of Egypt. So this is what? This is what a king in Israel did in Israel in order to do what? In order to deviate the focus of a people from here to here, so that they will be able to do what? To be going towards this particular place in order to do what? To worship a golden calf. Why is it being done? Because Rehoboam wanted the power to himself. He do not want the power to go towards Jerusalem. He wanted it. So did you see the trickedness on how to be able to tie people who do not really understand? And so those zombies are going to be following those things which are being constructed. Those wood, those stones, those golden calf, those modern things, which the nations have been doing. So they borrowed the idea of those things from different nations in order to come and apply it to the children of Israel. These are the things that we need to be able to understand. I want us to be able to go into the book of Deuteronomy. We want to read from chapter number 4. The book of Deuteronomy, chapter number 4. It is important, my dear brothers and sisters, that you know your Elohim. You know the one that you follow. Because those who do not know are going to fall into what? Into the trap of this constructed gods of other nations. And the gods of every other gods of other nations are nothing but what? Something of wood and stone. Somebody constructed it to trap people down under their power. Listen to what the Bible says. We are in the book of Deuteronomy, chapter number 4. The book of Deuteronomy, chapter number 4. We're going to read from verse number 15 all through to 19. And then we're going to read from verse number 27 to 28. So here the Bible says, take ye therefore good heed unto yourself. So now this message is what? To yourself, you, the children of Israel. Be careful to yourself. Take good heed to yourself. Do not allow any kind of message to be able to come into you in order to do what? To corrupt the things which have been sown in your life. Take good heed. Be careful of the people that you listen to who do not really overstand where they are pointing people to. He said, take heed therefore, good heed unto yourself, for you saw no manner of similitude of the day that Yahuwah spake unto you in Horeb out of the midst of fire. So be careful, be cautious. Be very, very, structurally stay focused on your walk in order in your Ruwach to be able to discern and know when somebody is trying to be able to do what? To point you into the gods of other nations. Now listen to what the Bible say here. He say here, speak unto Horeb in the midst of the fire, lest ye corrupt yourself and make you a grieving image, the similitude of any figure, the likeness of a male. The likeness of a male. Just 1 minute. The likeness of a male or female in verse number 17. The likeness of any beast that is on the earth, the likeness of any winged fowl that flieth in the air, the likeness of anything that creepeth on the ground, the likeness of any fish that is in the water beneath. And now, this is the word of Yahuwah, warning to what? To the children of Israel. Do not go and be making the idols, the graven image. Do not be following even the people. But what happened? The people who have disobeyed this particular commandment, they got themselves trapped. Now listen to what happened here. In verse number 19, the Bible said right there, Unless thou lift up thine eyes unto heaven, and when thou seest the sun, the moon, the stars, even all the hosts of heaven, shouldest be driven to worship them and serve them, which Yahuwah thy Elohim had divided unto all nations under the heaven. Now, this is very, very important. Now, let's go straight up to verse number 27 to 28. He said here, I want us to be able to understand what is going on in verse number 27 through to 28. And Yahuwah shall scatter you among the nations, and you shall be left a few in number among the heathen, whither Yahuwah shall lead you. And there you shall serve gods, the work of man's hand, wood and stone, which neither see, nor hear, nor eat, nor smell. Why is that going to happen? Now, to which people is this going to happen? To the people who do not hearken. Now, these are the things that you need to be able to understand. To the people who do not hearken. And what is going to happen? They are going to go into a nation. They are going to go into a land. And they are going to do what? They are going to be subjected under wood. And they are going to be subjected under stone. What does the Bible make us to understand? And those who are going to, worship the Father, how are they going to worship the Father? What does the scripture say? Because the Most High already seeked those who are going to worship him